I'm gonna go ahead and start the recording. So be mindful of what comes across your cameras and your mics. Quick housekeeping. If you're joining us remotely, thank you. Be sure to remain muted until you are ready to contribute so we can cut down on background noise. Those of you who are here in person, welcome to the first of the Monday series of meetings. It is March 18th, 2024. It is 3, and there is Kayla, so we will get started as soon as she gets settled and ready to go. It's just a moment. You call this to order? I have not. I was just doing housekeeping, letting everyone know the recording has begun. And we're ready to start whenever you are. You wanna, Linda? Yeah, there you go.
All right, we will call the March 18th LWIA committee meeting to order at 3:01. Awesome. And we'll do roll call.
Debbie, can you do the roll call? You got a list down there?
Kelly.
Yeah.
Ted Wall. Carolyn Jorgensen.
Here.
Casey Burgholder.
Here.
Courtney Connell. Will Foreman. Chris Stroll.
Here.
Cheryl Myers. Kayla.
Here.
Robert Wolf. And Lisa Bowman. You're one short of a quorum. Robert Wolf said he's going to be here virtually.
And so did Courtney Conlon said she was coming virtual.
Yes.
That was her last email, I think.
Did we get new info to them?
Yes.
Okay. Other than the minutes, I don't think there's anything that we have to have an action on, so we proceed with the meeting and we'll just approve minutes at our next meeting with quorum.
I think you can table the minutes, and if you have another person come, then we could approve them farther down in the agenda.
Well, let's just go ahead and skip on to.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and table the minutes for now. And Jane, I'm going to turn it to you to talk about the youth committee reorganization in the phase 3.
All right, so there has not been the amount of progress that I had anticipated making by this point. And that is my fault. We had planned to meet before this meeting, so between December and now, to get a subcommittee going or a core group to really look at creating a survey of youth, to get some, we're going to do a mail survey youth. We were going to ask for volunteers. We had some really good ideas going. We needed to get together and really lay out a timeline in this divide and conquer type of plan, and that has not happened yet. So that is what we will continue to work towards by our next meeting in June. So there's not a whole lot of updates to go with that at this moment. I am open to us revisiting the conversation, and maybe I was hoping we would have a quorum so we could get a solid date on the calendar now. But with us having so few of our members here, that might not be what we for the moment. How do you guys feel? A meeting between now and our quarterly meeting. So we need to work towards getting input from potential youth participants and using that information to guide where we go from here. We need to come up with a plan of what exactly is it that we're looking to find out from youth and young adults in the area. How are we going to get that information? And then what are we going to do with the information once we receive it? So last time we talked a lot about a ton of gaps that we have. We talked about opportunities. And then we did further discussion on that with our regional planning session. So I have a good idea of what our gaps are and opportunities. Now we just need to find the best way to deliver on those opportunities. And that would require some input from additional partners and from youth themselves. So if I remember correctly, we were going to have like a core group of people working on this idea, and we were going to convene mid-quarter, and that did not happen. Should we try to set a mid-quarter meeting date?
Yes.
All right. So that's gonna put us at the end of April, and we do have the WIA summit at the end of April. Should we shoot for that week or the first week of May?
I will be gone first week of May.
How about the week of the WIA summit on the Monday or the Tuesday before the WIA summit? Are there any major conflicts that week?
This is Carolyn Jorgensen. Monday is the 22nd. Is that the day you were talking about, Jamie?
Yes, Monday the 22nd or Tuesday the 23rd.
Monday, the 22nd is better for me, please.
All right. Is there morning or afternoon work better? Let's shoot for like 11 a.m. on Monday.
This is Carolyn. I have an appointment at 11 already, but I can move it if it's the best time for everybody else. That's the only time.
Since we're missing so many of our members, we have a date. Let me do a doodle poll and see if I can get a time that is a little bit more ideal for as many as possible. I recognize it's always hard to get everyone to the table at the same time on the same day. But doodle polls are usually pretty helpful in trying to strike a nice balance. So I will send out a doodle poll for Monday time slots, and then I'll include Tuesday just in case. But I will get that out this week.
Moving on to strategic planning.
So the idea with the strategic planning was that we would have this discussion about what we wanted to do and then create that plan from there. And then to really look at our regional plan to see how the youth committee would play into some of the goals and initiatives that we have in there. So skipping right to the regional plan aspect of it then, since we don't have a real structured plan for the committee at the moment. Looking at streamlining referrals is one of the goals from the regional plan, and that would require multiple partners to be on board. Then promoting and expanding apprenticeships, I think, would be relevant to the youth committee as well, and how we can all work together to look for opportunities to establish and create apprenticeships and even pre-apprenticeships or youth apprenticeships. And then navigating the labor market. What the youth committee, their input on how we are helping youth navigate the labor market, their options, and how to prepare for the workforce. So from the 6 goals in the regional plan, at least 3 of them are extremely relevant to this youth committee.
You said helping you navigate labor market was the last one.
Yes. I think laying that out, I think that's going to be, that would be a very integral part of the discussion as we make further progress in the goals of the youth committee overall. So right now, laying that out is a good start.
We're going to turn to item number 5, the report on activities and programs for youth.
Kelly,
Okay,
I just want to discuss that we did get our youth supplemental grant that we were talking about, last quarter. And we have used a lot of that for transportation and support services. And, we moved our in-school youth tuition that we already had, to this grant so that we could open up our out-of-school funding, so that we could put more out-of-school youth to get our numbers a little more balanced to meet the state requirements. And we are very focused on our out-of-school youth work-based programs right now to get our percentages up. We're supposed to meet the 20% requirement, and we are working strong and hard on that. We did create a recruitment plan, and we are sending our staff out, making business contacts, looking for youth. They're working really hard on that. So, I have a copy of that, if anybody would like to see that. And, we have enrolled 7 new ones, since 7 new youth since the last quarter. And we are working to right now add another 4 within the next week or 2, and then we have a lot of other strong possibilities. I can't really say for sure that we're enrolling, but we're hoping.
any questions?
Elaine, do you have anything to add to that?
We can go ahead and move on to.
Oh, the performance report.
Go ahead, one of the points.
We are exceeding all measures.
Okay, last time we met, we were still, behind on 1, so that's great news.
Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent.
Someone is joining the waiting room. I want to check and see who that is. Their name is. Hello, welcome, Courtney. You bring us to quorum, so I appreciate you so very much. You are muted if you're trying to say anything. Okay, good deal. Awesome, welcome.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go back to item 2, review and approval of the minutes from December 11th, 2023. Those all were delivered prior to the meeting by email. Are there any questions on the minute? Hearing none, I will accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
And second,
I can second. This is Casey.
okay, Casey, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. All right, so we'll move back down to other business. Do you have any other business to discuss? Okay. Any public comments? We'll hear those at this time. No,
Can I just say that if anybody knows of any youth anywhere, please send them our way. We're looking for youth out of school. So if you have any, send them our way.
We have added QR codes, a QR code to our website. So it will take you directly to our application. We've got flyers out all over the place, and QR codes that will take you to a new application. Any questions, you can call any of our offices or UIM.
And we have numerous websites right now that we can go on. If we could find them or they could find them, we also have websites that we can also, so.
yeah, I'm interested in the kind of recruitment plan that you laid out, and if there's any holes, and with contacts in any counties, they're happy to help. I know you have people on the ground everywhere, in a lot of counties already, so probably I think cover them to help, I can.
We were doing a goal, trying to find 30. We created this in February. And our goal was for each career plan, we have 10 career plans, to get 3 recruited and enrolled by April 1st. So that would have been 30. And we are working hard to get there. I'm not sure that we will, but they are really out there. We have encouraged them strongly to get 10 contacts a week. We're going to do that for 4 to 5 weeks, which we have been doing that. And most everybody was able to get 10 contacts, just for work sites. And then they're also adding contacts for just youth, finding those youth and making those contacts. So, I mean, they really are out there diligently seeking work sites and youth.
There's only so many hours in the day, and I believe that they are, that doesn't mean like we don't think they are, or that there's an impression that you're not, but no, I think that's great.
They don't follow through, that's the big problem, big time one. I mean, never see them again.
Yeah.
They want to go to work, they want to do this. In fact, one of them told Deborah that his choice was to either go to work or go to jail. He just soon go to jail. So.
I did pull some numbers just for our adult education program. 16 to 18-year-olds, we have 64 that are enrolled, 62 are in adult basic education, 2 are in ESL classes. 19 to 24, we have 63 in GED classes and 14 in ESL. So that is 141 out of our 326 people that are enrolled in ESL or GED. That is what we have for our 16 to 24-year-olds.
That are actually in class.
Those are in class, they're attending class right now. I pulled this report right before I left.
Okay, and then
Okay.
all of your counties? Okay.
That would be across, and I could pull specific to a classroom to see what classrooms have more, but I basically just pulled the numbers because the next jump is the 25 to 44, and there's 142 students, but that 16
We
to
talked to
18.
a couple of them last week, that I think are in the matching lab, and they're both working.
It seems like a lot of our students are working. I will tell you that probably one of the classrooms that we have the most 16 to 24-year-olds is our Kenya classroom, and that's not a kind of But I mean, I can pull like the Marshall classroom, Effingham, Mattoon. Sullivan is in your district, right? Yeah, Shelbyville is not, so we're gonna get Shelbyville's in the other.
I think those are about the 2 only counties.
Should be, I think Shelby and Christian.
That would be great.
So, yeah, and any of the other adult ed directors can pull the very same report and be able to see exactly what they have enrolled, so they might be able to pull that classroom too. That might be helpful.
Awesome.
Anything else? Okay, closing remarks. Anything further than Jamie share? With that, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
When's our next meeting? June 19th, 20th?
17th.
17th, okay, sorry,
June 17th.
I write it down now.
All right, can I get a second on the adjournment?
Second.
All right,
All right, well, that one was fast.
All those in favor, say
all those in favor?
aye.
Adjournment, say aye. Any opposed, same sign? Meeting is adjourned.
Awesome. Thank you. If you guys are online, if you're planning to attend the consortium committee, we'll start that at 4 o'clock. So you're welcome to hang out here. I will put it on mute. But come back to the same Zoom meeting room at 4 o'clock for consortium. Awesome. There we go. Be mindful of anything that comes across your screen or across your microphone. And we are going to get started in about 1 to 2 minutes. It is Monday, March 18th. This is the consortium committee meeting that will start at 4 o'clock. We got Carolyn and Aaron Hacker joining us virtually. Yeah. No, but it's so many. You can do. Restaurants.
Important business over here, what the rest.
And I just let Casey in from the waiting room, so as soon as her audio connects, I think that's all we were expecting. Are we waiting for anyone else in here in person? All right, with that, Kevin, your show whenever you're ready.
All right. Go ahead and follow the human disorder and roll call, please.
Casey Burgholder,
Here.
Kevin Busher,
Here.
Carolyn Jorgensen,
Here.
Nancy Purdy,
Here.
Sarah Baloo,
Here.
Kelly Denton,
Here.
Rob Jackman, Chris Strong.
Here.
Board of Thank you. Only to review and approve of minutes of December 11th. We might have any revisions, correction. Right, I'll do a motion to approve the minutes. So move. Motion second. Nancy seconds it. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Any conflict of interest disclosure by people? Now we're gonna move on to agency training. We're going to do that. Like what they call Perkins program.
All right, so we're going to talk about Perkins today. Question is, what is it and why does it matter? A lot of times when I talk to students about Perkins, in their mind, they're thinking that it's a loan program. They're thinking that it's a Perkins loan that they repay. But we're actually talking about the Carl Perkins grant. You can advance to the next slide.
Maybe I can.
Maybe.
How about that?
Perfect. So this is the purpose of the grant. So Perkins exists to strengthen career and technical education. And there's a few different ways that it can actually do that. But what I love is in that last line where it requires secondary, post-secondary, and business industry to work together to strengthen career and technical education for students. It's amazing how when you can partner with other groups, how much further you go as far as the contacts that you have and the wraparound support and resources. So with Perkins, part of it is having everybody work together. Next slide. So there's typically two ways that Perkins works. It's kind of two-pronged. We have the student support that goes directly to the student. So to receive that, they have to be a special population and they have to be in a qualifying program. So I handed out some sheets, and this is my Perkins flyer that whenever I'm talking to students, I like to show them. And what I love is on the back, it has the Perkins eligible programs. So that way they can actually look and see if their program is listed and they would qualify. So some of the things that Perkins can help a student with directly are things like supplies, uniforms, tool rental, focused tutoring. So this year we had a special tutor set up at our West building where they have block scheduling. So a lot of those students may need help in like their applied mathematics course. For our Cosmos students, they might need some help with English for their communications course. But with their block scheduling and being kind of on the edge of campus, it can be difficult to make it to the tutoring center to get the help. So we've actually had someone with set hours at the West building to be accessible to them during their breaks. The other part for Perkins is supporting our faculty. We can send them on professional development so that they stay current in their field, can purchase learning supplies, equipment, student field trips. We just had John Deere Ag Tech go over to Moline and actually get to see the production line. So all those things that they've learned are getting to see the combine actually assembled. Just that real world experience with what they're learning. And pretty soon, April 11th and 12th, the 8th grade career conference in conjunction with EPs. Again, that whole idea of partnering together. So before we go to the next slide, what do you think would qualify? What situation would qualify as a special population? If you were to take a guess, Jamie is excluded. She did not participate. Anyone but Jamie can answer the question. What would make someone a special population? Okay, so maybe a non-traditional gender for a field. So this year we were excited to support a female welding student. She wasn't able to just get her supplies locally because she needed small gloves. So being able to have what she needs for her program to be safe. So yes, being in a non-traditional field, and along those lines, we have a flyer. These are actually at the print shop. We're updating the salaries because in the last few years, these salaries look very, very different. And we're adding welding on the side too for non-traditional careers. But this is another great way we can reach out to students is to tell them if you are in the nursing program and you're male, you automatically qualify for Perkins. So looking at those non-traditional career pathways to create equity, what else? What else would qualify as a special population? Any guess?
Disabilities.
Yes, a documented disability. Absolutely. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So active duty military parent. If they're Pell eligible, I always hate using the term economically disadvantaged. It just feels yucky. It just does. So we like to talk about what we have. So Pell eligible. If they are out of workforce or dislocated workers, especially like if they're waiting for SEPs to kick in, because you know with SEPs, it has to be prior to the start of that semester.
So sometimes they can have that Perkins support to help get them through while they're waiting for steps. If they have aged out of foster care. So especially with our students who've aged out of foster care, they don't have a strong support system. If they had to move a lot, they might have some gaps with some of their skills and need to kind of fill in those gaps with developmental programs. A single parent, if they are an English learner, those all qualify. If they're experiencing homelessness, we're serving 5 students this year who qualify under that category of experiencing homelessness. So we have.
Why are you doing that? Above?
So yes, that's part of the wraparound support, the referral to URBA, but I really get to kind of cheat and coast this year because we recently hired a resource navigator for our students, Valerie Rubin. She goes by Wally. And she actually will sit and help them fill out the paperwork, will take them where they need to go and kind of connect those dots. So it's been really nice to hand off those students to Wally. And also to meet her to be able to utilize our food pantry that we have on campus. So a lot of our Perkins eligible students utilize the food pantry. And once we visit it together, that tends to kind of reduce some of the stigma with that. So, yeah.
Maybe you might be good at that. Training for urban named us.
Mm.
Or services, you know, thing that you can use, like, for example, like for lots of things. So that might be that. Training for that person.
Absolutely,
100%.
absolutely.
So,
I would like to
Is the-
connect you to.
I'm pretty sure URBA signed up, but what about Seth, the outreach office for the community services luncheon on April 19th?
I'm sure.
Okay. Did you share that out and get them signed up?
Just
Awesome.
with WIA, we didn't send it out to.
I did, oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Good.
Could you share that so that, that's not a one-on-one, training, but that's a good networking and connection event.
Mhm. The beautiful part about my Perkins workspace is I am next to Mariah, who used to work with her. And so it's really great because she keeps a very up-to-date list of resources and calling the numbers and making sure everything's current. So a lot of times when I have questions, I'm terrible about wheeling over. And she's great about connecting and kind of having creative ideas with how
She was
this
in our
is.
Baldwin County
Yes,
office.
yes, now I have her right there.
She is, sweet, wonderful.
She's great, she's great. Can do next slide. Okay, so the question is, how do we find special populations? The short answer is building relationships. Students aren't going to just readily admit to homelessness if they don't feel that they're in a safe or non-judgmental space. So we try really hard with Perkins and all of workforce development to make sure that we're meeting students where they're at, to be an active listener without any type of judgment or stigma. So working with the Office of Student Accommodations makes for easy referrals. As soon as they register their documented disability, then Ellie, who works there, is able to give them a Perkins flyer so that they can see if their program's on the back. And that way they have that direct contact to me. Connecting with the TRIO advisors has yielded some really good referrals as well. The adult ed transition coordinator, Mariah, who's right next door. And then visiting the orientations for special admissions programs like EMS and nursing, because right there you can speak directly to those non-traditional gender and career fields. And then the biggie for me, going to different areas on campus, going when they have the Wednesday activity period and being present and interacting with students. A lot of times that will spark conversation that leads to Perkins referrals as well. Okay. And there's more, there's case management. So ideally, I want the students to meet with me. We meet in person, they sign paperwork, we make a copy of their documentation and do intake. We have a software called Navigate, and that's where I can go in and issue an update, or if someone has mentioned to me, hey, I've got a student
I think they need to be referred to Perkins, I will get the student's name or ID number. I go into Navigate and there's an alert where I can do a Perkins referral. And it automatically sends that information to the student with an application. So they immediately know what Perkins is about and have the application. I try to reach out to the student so that that way they also have the connection. And then we meet in person from there. We do referrals to other resources, including steps, and having an open door policy. So whenever a student is having any type of an issue, whether they feel they've been discriminated against, they're having a problem with a class, that way we can kind of talk about the resources available to them, what their rights are as a student, and make sure that they have what they need to learn in a safe environment. As trust is established, the students tend to share their needs, and then you're really able to assist, because it's hard to help someone if you don't know exactly what they need. So building those relationships is a big part of the case management. Okay. So some of the examples of Perkins support for students this semester, we have helped to purchase the Cosmo kits. That's a pretty pricey kit. We actually did a portion of the cost. So if they had math and Pell, they used some of that towards their kit cost, but we covered about half of it. Scrubs for our nursing students, a flip meter for a John Deere Ag Tech student, the welding gloves and hood for the female welding student school supplies. We have started a graphing calculator library at the library that students can check out. So that way they have what they need instead of having to buy an expensive calculator for their class. We also have a Chromebook lending library. So that's been helpful for students to be able to just check out a Chromebook for the academic year and then just return it when they're done. And it has all of the VM installed on it and what they need for their classes. Okay. So then how does Perkins work with WIA? So considering the local needs for the workforce, this was kind of fun. Jamie did this during her time, but she had these made. It's the mindset for employment. These have been really nice to spark conversations with students when we meet. I also had the opportunity to meet with different individuals with the EASY office. So having Lori Woodruff use that with her STEPS class, talking about what employers want: commitment, honesty, flexibility, trustworthiness, accountability. You know, we can take it for granted that maybe everybody's had an environment where they grew up having those things modeled, but not everybody's had that luxury. So going ahead and working on those soft skills that the employers need. Staff's referrals, it's really nice to be able to, as I talk to a student, especially like our dental hygiene students, Steph's can do way more for them than Perkins can, and just kind of a starting point. And also share data and support for programs. Right now I'm working on the community local needs assessment, and Jamie has shared WIA data. That's really been helpful to look at what programs we want to try to get extra support to because of needs in the workforce. So making sure that we're doing what we can to have students have what they need to be successful in those programs, and then go to work. Okay. So these are some resources to promote equity and diversity. The one that I really love too is the interviews for non-traditional careers. If you want to click on that one really quick. This was kind of fun because it just gives a breakdown and shows examples of individuals who are in non-traditional careers. And the gal that put that together became an engineer, but grew up in a very rural area in Texas where that just wasn't something that was expected. And because of an instructor that made her aware of different opportunities in engineering and STEM, it just launched her career in the path that she took. So it's kind of fun. Megan Pollock. It's fun to get to look at all the different examples that they have. That's kind of a fun one to visit. And that's Megan's story right there. But yeah, just to see some examples of the non-traditional genders represented in the workforce. Does anybody have any questions for me that we didn't cover? Last thing I wanted to share was I passed this around. This is an example of what we've tried to do. This was the work of a committee to put resources in one spot where we could easily distribute and hand it out to our students. It's got everything from Perkins and free tutoring to WIA and SEFs. But that way they have that all in one place as they're looking for the things that they need. So trying to connect the dots for our students. Okay. Well, thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Not very good. So next time. Next week.
Somebody for, yeah, it's quarter.
Volunteers or somebody wants volunteers.
We can figure something out.
Okay, so we will get somebody for next quarter meeting. General information, business service update. Hello, everybody. So normally we have monthly business service team meetings. For our meetings November through January, where we put our business service team meetings on hold so we could focus more on our regional plan. With that being completed, we had our first regular business service team meeting on February 22nd, in which we just simply discussed partner updates. And here are a few of them that I picked out. For LWIA 23, we had a Leap Forward Employer Summit that was held on February 29th. We had about 28 attendees. We had discussions on apprenticeships, the Stevens Industries Top Mate program, and then Amy Patrick from our Small Business Development Center had a pretty in-depth discussion / hands-on training on diversity in the workplace. Our IDS partner, we had 2 TPM graduates on February 23rd. Kayla Lambert from DCO, who was at our previous meeting, she had presented at the Effingham County Chamber, the Empower Her event on March 8th. Everything I've seen, that was a great presentation for everybody who attended. Perkins, which Joy mentioned, 8th grade career conference, April 11th and 12th. So that should be a good time with a whole lot of 8th graders running around.
2,000 eighth graders.
2,000, and I will be one of the MCs, so let's fingers crossed and please pray. On February 29th, what was that being called?
February 29th was the Leap Forward Employer Summit. And our next business servicing meeting is March 20th. And some of our key topics we're going to discuss with our partners. We're going to be working on a business satisfaction survey as we engage with business partners to see how we're doing with everybody. We want to increase promotion across all of our economic partners and our business team members for overall apprenticeships, to try to get much more traction with apprenticeships. And our talent management pipeline survey. So yeah, a bunch of things going for our business service team. We also have a manufacturing collaborative on April 3rd. We're going to sit down with manufacturers within our region and try to see how we can help out with their pain points for their employee shortages. So it should be good times. And that is all.
What was the name for the manufacturing collaboration? I feel like I have one account.
April 3rd from 2 to 4.
As far as the MOU is, any changes that were made, we asked for section 7, if any of your services had changed. I've gotten all the changes that I think we're going to get. Also, there's an appendix I to the MOU, which is that direct linkage. So everyone that is not physically located in a one stop needs to turn one of those in to me. I sent them out to everybody, every agency. I am just missing, just a couple at this point. And then, I also sent out, the cover sheet, for signatures. And I know that that's a kind of a pain to get everybody's signature, but I am missing, a lot. I've gotten maybe 2. So. If you,
Well, I know I said,
was that
I'll send it again.
because there's like 3 different documents that people have to sign, and I know I talked to Rob Jackman the other day, he's like, I sent you everything, I'm like, I don't know, let me look, so. But if you think you sent it to me and I don't have it, I'll, remind you again. Or if you did send it to me and you might want to send it in. I got a list of everybody that I've gotten, and I try to print them off as I get them, but, a lot of those things can go missing, or I can just not print it off and I forget about it. So anyway, that being said, I do need, some, signatures for the MOU. I do need some of the appendix I, the direct linkage, surveys, questionnaire. And if you all have any questions, if you have turned any of those things into me or you need to, just ask me and I'll, do my best to get you the right answer. So that, the report outcomes, I got Nancy and Gerald have to sign the same thing. That's just saying that we, agreed on the budget back in February. And that is due to the state April 15th. May 31st is when the MOU and preliminary budget are due. And I think that's when the signatures are due as well. I got it somewhere.
I am delinquent on the direct linkage, so I will get that one done.
That is.
I know I'm
Okay.
delinquent.
So yeah, that is due
Acknowledge it,
May 31st. MOU signatures, they all need to be turned in by May 31st. And then the report outcomes April 15th. So, we should have everything. We got plenty of time. I just want to remind everybody so we don't let it fall by the wayside. So if it gets closer to the time and I'm missing something, I'll let you know. And that's really all I got. So with Kevin May gone, he had to take off before 4:30. You already talked to him? Okay, good.
No, I didn't, but we'll move on to one-stop operator report. Kelly.
So we had, last Thursday, whatever that date was.
14.
The 14th, yes. We did discuss the door signage and it's still in the works. Jill and Casey are working on that still. We talked about our greeter change. So going into the one stop now, the customer goes directly to the resource room specialist, and that greeter change is working great right now. Hopefully it stays that way. I'm sure it will. We also set up quarterly trainings, cross training, and discussed the job center certification. And the group will have an April meeting to work on the application and get that submitted to the chairperson. We also discussed a customer survey. That's kind of an ongoing thing that we've been working on, and we are getting closer. Jamie sent out some examples, and we will be working on getting that done soon so that we can start handing those out at the one stop and the resource specialist, so we can put those out whenever we get that completed. And then we had, I discussed the December, January, and February numbers for the one stop operator. And I think there was a total of 900. Does anybody remember how many we had? 904 total people, December, January, and February. Thank you so much. And that's all I Any questions? Anything to add?
Any questions for Kelly? Any other agenda items to discuss? Seeing none, we'll move on to partner reports. I'll turn it over to any partners that would like to give a report on anything they have going on. I will start with Title II. I pulled a report right before I left today. Right now, as of this year, we have served 326 students in adult basic education, adult secondary education, and English language acquisition. So that would be our GED and ESL classes. So we've served 326 students thus far. I'll even break it down by age group: 16 to 18, 64 students; 19 to 24, 77; 25 to 44, 142; 45 to 54, 20; 55 to 59, 10; and 60 plus 13.
What are the reasons for the 60 plus?
10 of them are in ESL and 3 are in GED.
Oh, really?
So in the category 25 to 44, we are serving 94 students in ESL classes and 48 in GED.
I don't know how many adult men and women that was interviewed over 60. And the first question I ask is, what's bringing you back into the job market? And sadly, I'm having to raise my grandkids. That's been the number one answer. And then from there, I understand, let's go. You know,
No, nothing else needed, right?
nothing else needed. It's sad.
It is, because at the time in their life, they should be resting and they're taking on some new
Yeah.
responsibilities. And
Yeah.
Perkins is getting ready for the 8th grade career conference that'll be held on April 11th and 12th at Lakeland College. And right now we have 57 business partners signed up, as well as the Lakeland's staff and faculty that will be joining to represent as well. We anticipate about 2,000 8th graders. So we're very excited about that. So yeah, the invitation stands to come here, Devin, and come and eat herbs and just spend the day. You won't be disappointed. Please have.
Fun. It's kind of fun. Pretty good.
It is.
It's there. 8th graders went on some public school teaching. But it was fun. Kids had a life. Joy, are you still looking for particular sectors or career clusters, as they're known in Perkins Land, specifically to get some representation and maybe partners here on the consortium can spread the word?
Yes, so we would still love to have a few more in the health service industry and also law enforcement. I don't have as many representatives for law enforcement that I would like. I have a few checking their schedules and one who come in the past that has a conference going on. So we would like to have more representation in those areas. But otherwise, I feel like we've got good representation for each of the clusters and students get to go ask questions. So this is a really great opportunity for them to be mindful about what interests them and to start thinking about what they need to do to have that type of career as they go into high school and have opportunity for dual credit and internships and apprenticeships and all that good stuff. So,
Does Jeff have any unfortunate contacts that might be able to?
yeah, I've been reaching out to the advisory committee people from the Chambers group. So we're just gonna keep knocking.
I feel like we have a CEO that is in law enforcement.
John Shell,
So I was thinking of. We'll get him that joy. He comes to the meeting and says.
The Coles County Sheriff's Department or probation officer or something right there.
Yeah, Kenny's checking his schedule. I'm talking to Kenny Martin, so he is checking his schedule because he had actually done outreach, asking about having an IT person for Coles County Sheriff. So connected to career services and to Scott Ryan to see if we can get somebody that would be good for IT for the sheriff's department. So this is terrible. So then right after that, it's like, hey. So he told me he's checking his calendar, so I'm hoping he can come. But in the meantime, I would just like to know for certain that we have a few options.
I'll encourage you.
I appreciate it.
Did I miss the Lakeland open house? It's usually when they're on spring break or something.
Liquor visit day?
Lakeland visit day.
That's right.
It's this Friday.
There's many chances for Laker visit days too. Yes, if you missed the last one, this Friday.
And we talked with Jeremiah.
And stuff, school this Friday. Last year, it was our spring break and I took a couple. I took the seniors, you know, on our spring break. You mind going on spring break? So, they were always do that.
Is the next one in June?
There's several throughout the year, but I'm thinking the next one after March might not happen until June, but I could be wrong.
Well, there was this one, what day, wasn't there a day?
Oh, sorry.
President's Day. President's Day, there was one.
Oh.
It'll take me a minute to find it, because I can't find it very long. But
Well, they always said I can take a field trip. I mean, there will be students on campus, but then better.
Look, it's really easy to find, like schedule a visit or something, isn't that, request a visit? Yeah, but it's under admissions there.
February 19th.
What's the next one? That was President's Day. That's a new one. They have not always done it on President's Day. So within the last year or so, that's been a new one. Now you can always do a campus visit anytime that you want to. Friday, March 21st, Thursday, June 12th. But I can also send you the link to this page. You can do a campus visit anytime. They'll schedule a student ambassador to give you a tour, and I'm not sure what else they do, but answer any questions that we can do. This is a good time to go because schedules are out for summer and for fall. So if you've got a senior, not only can they talk about what program they're looking at, but they can also spend some time looking at schedule and figuring out if this worked for me. Joy goes to Laker visit day. If she's on campus, she can talk to them about if they're eligible for programs.
It's really nice.
Put on fall registration was open, right, Devin?
Yes.
Scheduled that, and registration just opened when we got back from spring break, right? It's usually like we go on spring break and then that next Monday is the first day of registration. Thanks, Devin, because he used to be in the relationship. So.
Any partners that are online, I'll remind you, you're welcome to share by unmuting yourself or putting something into the chat. I'm keeping an eye on the chat box. If you'd like to share that.
This is Carolyn Jorgensen from Title IV DRS. We are expanding our secondary education transition program, our STEP program for the high schoolers, which has soft skills and direct work skills. It connects students to work skills building classes and then also experiences in the workforce and the community. It's a couple-year program, usually specifically more geared towards the senior year. And we are in the next, probably about the next calendar year, going to be picking up about 175 more students. So that's actually going to be quite a significant increase. It's cases that are migrating to the only office that have been previously handled elsewhere, but we hope to have another counselor hired in the next year because we already have about 375 cases and 1 certified counselor. So we have a second counselor hired, but they're not trained yet. And we're picking up the rest of these cases. So we are looking forward to serving more high school students in our community. And don't forget, as students begin to graduate this spring, if you know of a high school student who would be interested in utilizing our community college initiative, a student with a disability, whether it be a learning disability, an emotional behavioral health disability, or physical disability, that may qualify for DRS services. We have the Community College Initiative where the community college experience with tuition and fees, books and supplies, and possible transportation reimbursement can be paid without family financial analysis. So there's no family contribution for the Community College Initiative, and that is up to 3 years to get an associate's degree. So definitely an opportunity for our individuals with disabilities to get that associate's degree at no charge to the family for tuition and fees and books and supplies and possibly transportation reimbursement, depending on the mileage. So just looking forward to the rest of the year. So thank you from Title IV.
Thank you, Carolyn. That was good information. Casey or Aaron, are there any updates you would like to provide to the group?
This is Aaron. I don't think I have anything to add at this time.
I have no updates.
Okay, so move on to number 6, old business, new business. Is there anything other old business or new business anyone would like to discuss? Seeing none, I'll move on to public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, next meeting will be June 17th, same place, 4 p.m. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Gerald. I'll second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 4:41.
Awesome. Those of you who have joined us virtually, I appreciate your attendance. The recording has stopped and I will end this meeting. If you are attending the board meeting at 6 o'clock, that is on a different Zoom meeting link. We will see you later. Thanks so much.
Nancy.